We are following up the election process. We have with us from Sohag Governorate live Nile TV's correspondent Hany Farag. Hany.
Yes, Amal, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Hany.
How, viewers.
Yes, how is the election process going?
Yes, of course, the voting process stopped now and for 1 hour from 3 p.m. until 4 p.m. It is the rest time. So for the second and consecutive day, the voting process was pursuing its electoral marathon at 9 a.m. The polling stations are opened its door under the supervision of judges and the tight security measures. The calm reigns everywhere. Until now, there is an influx of voters in the early morning hours to the polling stations. But what is remarkable about the electoral scene is that there is a clear commitment on the part of the executive institutions to apply the instructions of the Egypt's National Election Authority, NEA, aiming to eliminate all forms of propaganda near the electoral committees to ensure also an organized voting experience in Sohag. There are attempts also by the police here who is securing already the electoral process to prevent any violation or any violation of election silence. The governor of Sohag explained today that the electoral process has started its work without any obstacles in the 7 general committees or constituencies at the governorate level, with a careful and real-time monitoring of the voting process in the centers, cities, neighborhoods and villages. As part of 24-hour surveillance, vigilance rather, the governor confirmed the existence of direct lines of communication between the main operations room and the sub-rooms of all the centers and directorates of the local units of the governorate to monitor the situation regularly and to ensure also the regularity of the electoral process from the first hours of their launches. Let me say that according to the authorities here in the governorate of Sohag, this activation of the central operation room is not only done to follow the voting process moment by moment, but also in order to make coordination with local units and service directorates in order to monitoring all the observations, all the remarks, to work on resolving them immediately. This there is a confirmation from the different institutions responsible here, responsible for the electoral process, that they are at the same distance from all the candidates, and their role is limited only to organizing and to securing the voting process. Sohag Security Directorate made an intensive security deployment through strengthening and deploying security forces and rapid intervention groups and enhancing traffic services in all centers, departments, access and also roads leading to the electoral headquarters to impose security control and to arrest outlaws or violators of electoral rules. Let me say also that there is a lot of cooperation between the institutions, especially the police, who is trying to facilitate the voting process to the citizens, and they are trying also to fight any irregularities hindering the vote process and to fight any act violating the rules of democracy, and to confirm once again that they are preserving the transparency of this voting process. Let me remind you that there is about 12 local media covering and following the elections here in Sohag, in addition to the presence of international observers to follow up the electoral process. So today, while we are in this governorate of Sohag to cover the elections for the House of Representatives, we noticed that 550 voting centers have been well prepared and well equipped. They are distributed in all cities and all centers of the governorate, which extends to 11,000 square kilometers. Let me say also that more than half of the population of the governorate of of Sohag is invited today to vote in the second and the consecutive last day of these elections for the House of Representatives. The population of the governorate is about 5,900,000 rather people. The inhabitants work here mainly in agriculture and the manufacturing industries. Therefore, we are expecting more and more enhanced turnout of participation from the voters in the upcoming hours, in the at the coming of the night. But in fact, the governorate of Sohag includes also 8 electoral constituencies, which is or maybe in which 155 candidates are competing for get 12 seats here in Sohag. So let me say also that we are talking, or maybe if we are talking about the major block of votes here, it is in the villages rather than in the cities. We are talking about maybe 80% of the block of voters is presenting in the villages, and about 21% of voters or block of voters, a block of vote is already presenting in the cities. But let me say also that that there is a lot, again, a lot of local media who are following and covering the election here in Sohag, and therefore there is some, let me say, there is some scenes, humanitarian scenes, and there is some democratic scenes on which they were shedding the light, such as the participation of elderly and the special persons with special needs. They are keening on going to the ballot boxes and to cast their votes. Let me also say that the elderly and people participation in this casting, people with special needs, rather, their participation once again confirms the firm community awareness among the people of governorate and their insistence on performing their national duty despite the health or despite challenges that some of them may face. Again, in the morning and on the afternoon, what has been observed so far, it's a calm prevails in this electoral process, and a relatively weak influx of voters to the ballot boxes, especially in the early morning. But we are seeing, we are observing that there is an enhancing of turnout of participation of voters at this phase, and or rather at this time. Let me remember you that in front of all the polling station there is the presence of women. Women here, or the voting block for women here reaches about 49% of those who have the right to vote in the governorate. We should also say that once again there is more intense competition in villages than in other cities, especially since we know that the real and the great weight of voting blocks is located in the village, or in villages rather. Voter turnout is expected also to rise with the advent of night hours, especially that residents here work once again in agriculture and manufacturing industries.
Thank you very much, Nile TV's correspondent Hany Farag from Sohag Governorate. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we resume our Panorama News, and now with the sports headlines.